How do you measure success? Stay tuned. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And I read an unbelievably great article by a gentleman named Alex. I think that's the way he pronounces it. He spells it A-L-U-X, Alex, called 15 Steps to Measure Success. And without further ado, I want to give you this because this was very mind-provoking for me. How do you measure success in life? Everybody wants to be successful, but if you ask the average person, you won't find a clear definition of what that success stands for or how to measure success for that matter. People measure success differently from one another. What someone sees like the pinnacle of life, someone else could be their nightmare. We went through all the metrics of success we could think of and bundled them in this article with the hopes of providing some metrics for you. Your goal is to go through this list and pick the metrics that matter the most to you and then live your life with the purpose of achieving those. So if you're ready, let's get started. Here are 15 ways to measure success. I'm going to give you some today and some next video. Number one, how much money you make. Well, we had to get the money one out of the way immediately because this was the most common way people measure success these days. Yes, money is incredibly important. It solves more than half the problems you could have in your life and improves your comfort and chances to grow as a person, as well as it allows you to take care of those that you love. Money is really important, but not the most important. All the ways of measuring success we mentioned in this little video of ours are like the pieces of the puzzle of your life. If you only get one, you're never going to have the full picture. Go get your money, achievers, so you don't have to worry about it. Then proceed down the list. And here's number two. How many people know your name? The second most common answer to how do you measure success was fame and how many people sing your praises, how many people know of you and what you're doing. Fame is also important. It grants you privileged access. It makes things easier. People treat you differently. The problem here is that some people base their self-worth on the number of followers that they have. Even here on YouTube, people look at you differently when you have 1,000 subscribers versus a couple of million subscribers. Also, be careful of the slippery slope of quick-found fame. People can know your name for the wrong reason. It's not about the numbers you're playing with right now, but how much of an impact you can have in spite of those numbers. If it makes you feel any better, Jesus had only 12 followers and managed to grow that fan base to billions through personal sacrifice. If you really think about it, Jesus was the OG influencer. Number three, ways to measure success. How many lives you've improved. The natural progression from money and fame is impact. The more lives you can change for the better, the more valuable you are to society. Positive impact doesn't get the spotlight it deserves. It's usually later on when people realize just how big of a difference some actions made. All the big leaps in humanity, all the big shifts in art, culture, and the way that we think, took years to shift and alter before they came into full effect. You should measure your positive impact at the end of your life and see how many people are better off because you came into their lives. Number four, how happy you are. Happiness should be one of those pillars when defining success. You should be happy with your life, with the way things are going for you. So much so that they put it in the Declaration of Independence. You've been endowed with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We get so caught up in building and solving problems that we forget to pursue our own happiness. Tread carefully here because you can be perceived as successful by the world and still not be happy. And the other way works as well. Choose the kind of life you want to pursue and then be happy doing that. Number 5, how much stress you're dealing with. There are two sides to this stress issue that we want to cover in this point, so bear with us. The first one, positive stress. Whenever we encounter situations that seem overwhelming in our journey towards greatness, we remember a quote we've encountered a while back that goes like this. Quote, "Diamonds are just pieces of coal that handled stress really well." Unquote. On the other side of stress, there's reward. That's why not every piece of coal is a diamond. If your life is hard, if you're dealing with overwhelming problems, keep in mind that this is a differentiating moment between the real and the pretenders. Keep going, keep pushing when others would decide to quit, and you'll grow beyond what anyone else can expect. The second side of measuring success based on stress is determined by its absence from your life. The least stressful your existence, the more successful you are. It's almost like consent. If you want to stress within the purpose of growth, then stress is welcomed. If it comes on its own when you really don't need something else to juggle, then it's bad. Stress is incredibly harmful to your health. It accelerates the aging process in your body, and figuring out how to relieve it can make all the difference. Number 6, how many stories you can tell. When the time comes for you to go, you should have a life filled with stories. A large portion of the population will go through life without actually living, while others jump at the opportunity to embrace it. If you only get one life, why wouldn't you want to live it to the fullest? Try everything you want to try. Take risks. Just don't live for nothing. Stories are really undervalued. Your entire existence can be summarized in just a few stories you can tell. Ask yourself, if someone asked you to tell your life story, would it be worth listening to? If yes, then you're doing great. If not, it might be time to reevaluate some things. Number 7, how many things are left on your bucket list? Keeping up with the same theme, success can be measured based on how many things you still want to achieve, to try, and to live, and how many you've already conquered. Think of these events as life points. In the game of life, your goal should be to get as many of these life points as possible. The points are moments that take your breath away, moments that make you happy to be alive when you understand how blessed you really are. Some people only get a couple of these points in their entire lives. What's the point of living a long life if you didn't really live? Okay, we're going to stop right there. I've given you 7 ways to measure. Next time we're going to go through 8 more. I find this really interesting because it's different things to think about in different ways. And until we get together next time, remember always, hey, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.